Welcome to the UGC Net MCQ Series. Question: Behavioral approach in the study of organization means 1. Study of system in organizational context. 2. Study of the behavior of individual public servants. 3. Use of behavioral science in the study of organizational behavior. 4. Study of the organizational structure on the basis of the behavioral leadership. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer. Option 3. Use of behavioral science in the study of organizational behavior. Explanation. To get this right, you have to understand the evolution of administrative theory. Early classical thinkers just looked at the rigid structure of an organization. The behavioral approach completely shifted this by focusing on the actual human beings inside that structure. It specifically means using established behavioral sciences like psychology, sociology, and anthropology to analyze and explain why individuals and groups act the way they do at work. It uses empirical research to identify patterns, emphasizes organizational culture, and utilizes actual scientific techniques to improve outcomes. Therefore, option 3 is the most comprehensive and accurate definition. Question: which of the following are the trends noticed by the Fred Riggs in comparative public administration? 1. Shift from empirical to normative. 2. Shift from ideographic to normative. 3. Shift from ecological to non-ecological. 4. Shift from ethical to rule-based studies. You have 5 seconds to analyze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer. None of the above options are correct in their current order. Explanation: Fred Riggs actually identified 3 major trends in comparative public administration, but they go in the exact opposite direction of the options provided. 1. Normative to empirical. The shift is from normative studies, which deal with what ought to be, to empirical studies, which deal with what actually is. 2. Ideographic to nomothetic. The shift is from ideographic studies, focusing on single nation or individualistic studies, to nomothetic studies, focusing on universal studies. 3. Non-ecological to ecological. The shift is from non-ecological studies, viewing administration in isolation, to ecological studies, examining administration in relation to its external environment. Question: Taylor's concept of mental revolution stands for 1. Restricted output and cooperations. 2. Cooperation, harmony, and restricted output. 3. Harmony and cooperation. 4. Economy, cooperation, and restricted output. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer. Option 3. Harmony and cooperation. Explanation. To F. W. Taylor, the true essence of scientific management wasn't just about stopwatches or piece rate pay. It required a complete mental revolution. This revolution refers to a fundamental shift in how workers and managers think about their jobs and their relationship with each other. Instead of fighting over how to divide a small surplus of profits, which leads to conflict and restricted output, Taylor believed they needed to adopt a cooperative attitude. By working together with harmony and cooperation, they could vastly increase productivity, making the surplus so large that both sides would get richer without having to fight over it. Question: which one of the following is the drawback of the bureaucratic model? 1. Lack of legal rational principles. 2. Lack of rule of law upon the training of bureaucratic organizations. 3. Lack of normative factors of guiding action. 4. Lack of theoretically integrated total system of actions. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer. Option 3. Lack of normative factors of guiding action. Explanation. Max Weber's classical bureaucratic model is built on strict rules, procedures, and hierarchy. While this creates consistency and fairness, it has a massive blind spot: The lack of normative factors. Normative factors are the underlying human values, morals, principles, and larger organizational goals that should guide behavior. Because bureaucracies subordinate these values to blind rule following, employees often become obsessed with following the rules perfectly while completely failing to consider the actual goal they are supposed to achieve. This leads to rigid, inflexible organizations that cannot adapt to changing circumstances. Question: Henry Fayol's general theory of administration is applicable at 1. Policy management level, 2. Top management level, 3. Middle management level, 4. Workshop level. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, option 2, top management level. Explanation: Henry Fayol, known as the father of modern operational management, focused entirely on the macro-level view of organizations. His general theory of administration is most closely related to the top management level. Fayol argued that top-level managers carry the heaviest administrative burden. They must focus on broad planning and organizing, setting the overall direction of the organization, establishing goals, and developing the overarching strategies to achieve them. Meanwhile, the doing is pushed further down the chain. 336 question. Which of the following are the anti-goals of new public administration? A. Anti-positivism. B. Anti-technical. C. Anti-hierarchical. D. Anti-values. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. 1. A, B, and D only. 2. B, C, and D only. 3. A, B, and C only. 4. A, B, C, and D. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, option 3, A, B, and C only. Explanation: the New Public Administration (NPA) movement, born out of the 1968 Minnowbrook Conference, completely rejected the traditional, rigid goals of classical public administration. It championed 3 major anti-goals. 1. Anti-positivism, rejecting the idea that there is only one objective truth discovered purely through strict scientific methods. NPA argues that multiple perspectives and social realities exist and must be considered. 2. Anti-technical, rejecting the belief that administration is just a cold technical process solved by expertise alone, ignoring that it's actually a complex social process involving politics and conflicting interests. 3. Anti-hierarchical, rejecting strict top-down power structures in favor of more collaborative, participatory processes involving citizens and community groups. However, NPA was incredibly pro-values. It fought for social equity and ethical values, making anti-values, statement D, completely incorrect. Question: match list I with list 2. List A, thinkers. A. H. Simon B. Peter Drucker. C. I. Barnard D. M. P. Follett. List 2, related concepts. I. Generic and unique decision. 2. Programmed and non-programmed decision. 3. Organizational and personal decision. I. Constructive conflict. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. 1. A. I. B. 2. C. 3. D. F. 2. A. 2. B. 3. C. F. D. I. 3. A. 2. B. I. C. 3. D. 4. A. F. B. 3. C. 2. D. I. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer, option 3. A. 2. B. I. C. 3. D. F. Explanation. A. H. Simon. Herbert Simon is famous for categorizing decisions into routine, repetitive ones, programmed, and novel, unstructured ones, non-programmed. B. Peter Drucker. Drucker classified decisions based on how frequently they occur, dividing them into generic, common recurring, and unique, rare exceptional decisions. C. I. Barnard. Chester Barnard differentiated between decisions made in an official capacity, organizational, and those made as an individual, personal. D. M. P. Follett. As we saw in previous episodes, Mary Parker Follett is the absolute champion of viewing friction as constructive conflict. Question: which of the following is not true about Peter Drucker? 1. He authored the book titled The Effective Executive. 2. He coined the term knowledge workers. 3. He coined the term MBO. 4. He coined the term SMART. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer. Option 4. He coined the term SMART. Explanation. Peter Drucker is an absolute giant in management theory, but we need to give credit where credit is due. Let's look at his actual achievements versus the fake option. Option 1. True. He did author the famous book, The Effective Executive, in 1966. Option 2. True. He coined the revolutionary term knowledge workers in his 1959 book, The Landmarks of Tomorrow. Option 3. True. He famously developed the theory of management by objectives, MBO, in his 1954 book, Practice of Management. However, option 4 is false. The famous SMART goals framework, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, was actually developed by George Doran, Arthur Miller, and James Cunningham in their 1981 article. Question: which of the following book are authored by Max Weber? A. The Theory of Social and Economic Organization. B. The Theory of Administration of the State. C. Economy and Society. D. The Elements of Administration. Choose the most appropriate answer from the options given below. 1. Only 2. A and B only 3. A and D only 4. A and C only. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer. Option 4. A and C only. Explanation. Max Weber is the undisputed father of the bureaucratic model, and you must know his seminal works. A. The Theory of Social and Economic Organization. This is one of Weber's most famous works, translated into English by Talcott Parsons, where he outlines his types of authority, including legal rational authority. C. Economy and Society. This is Weber's magnum opus, published posthumously in 1922, covering his comprehensive sociological and economic theories. The other two are distractors. The Elements of Administration, D, was famously written by the classical thinker Lyndall Urwick in 1943, not Weber. Question: match list I with list 2. List I, theory, concept. A. Constructive conflict. B. Acceptance, theory of authority and zonal indifference. C. Hierarchy of needs. D. Hygiene motivation theory. List 2. Thinker. I. Frederick Herzberg. 2. Abraham Maslow. 3rd. Chester Demers, Barnard, Ford. Mary Parker Follett. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. 1, 3. You have 5 seconds to guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct answer. Option 2. A. IV. B. 3. C. 2. D. I. Explanation. A. Constructive conflict. Mary Parker Follett famously analyzed conflict not as a destructive force, but as an opportunity for integration and finding new solutions in organizations. B. Acceptance theory and zone of indifference. Chester the Fee. Barnard proposed that authority doesn't come from the top down, it comes from the bottom up. A manager's order is only authoritative if the subordinate accepts it. This happens within their zone of indifference, where they follow orders without second thought. C. Hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow proposed this iconic psychological theory in his 1943 paper, stating that humans are motivated by a pyramid of needs, starting from basic survival up to self-actualization. D. Hygiene motivation theory. Frederick Herzberg developed this two-factor theory in 1959. He found that certain workplace factors cause job satisfaction, motivators, while a completely different set of factors causes dissatisfaction, hygiene factors.